As some of you may know, I was incarcerated for 6 years. And out of that 6 years, only like 1 or 2 weeks of that, I was actually in solitary confinement for things that I did wrong. And during that time, that short 2-week period of time, I did begin to go clinically depressed. It is beyond stressful. It is almost an indescribable situation. You are so isolated from every other person, every other being. There's no pets, there's no kids, there's no, other fellow adults. It's just you. And so, your own thoughts overtake you, and in general, it's a horrible experience. Without going into too much of it, it's a horrible experience. However, there are times when solitary confinement is necessary for the safety and security of either oneself, other inmates, staff members who work at prisons, or of the guards who work at prisons. And I'm going to tell you why. So, not everyone conforms or even agrees with our rules of society or even our code of ethics. I mean, that's kind of one reason why people go to jail or prison, is because they break the rules of society, right? Now, even when people go to jail or prison, sometimes they still continue to refuse to abide by any of those rules or codes or ethics or anything of the sort. That is, they still continue to want to be, violent, or some people continue to do drugs if they could somehow get a hold of them, so on and so forth. And so if you take an individual like that, who just is totally unwilling to be a conformist in any way, they just continue to want to fight people, or maybe, stab or hurt people, or maybe even try to kill people, then the question becomes, well, then what do you do with that person? If you leave them in those general population settings, either in a cell with someone else, in a dormitory setting with someone else, or, otherwise where they're around other people, again, inmates, staff members, guards, whoever it may be, they're going to attempt to injure those people. And so the logical conclusion is, well, the only thing we can do is put them in a cell by themselves. We can't release them to the public because they're dangerous. That's why they're here to begin with. We can't let them around other inmates because they continue to be dangerous, so that's all we can do. That's the prison's logic, and it's true. Okay? And even sometimes when there's uncertainty about whether someone is willing to conform rules, how safe a person is. For example, let's say that 2 inmates get into a fight. Nothing really brutal, nobody tried to stab or kill anybody, it was just kind of just a basic fight, okay? Well, in the meantime, while the guards try to figure out what happened, maybe one of the people was trying to kill the other person, or maybe it was a hate crime. There's a number of things. So in the meantime, while something is investigated, they may have to put someone in solitary confinement, maybe for a day, 2 days, however long an investigation may take place. And so there are multiple or various reasons to put someone in solitary confinement. Now, whether someone should be placed in solitary confinement indefinitely, that's of course a different question. But as an ex-prisoner, yes, I would definitely 100% agree that there are definitely times where certain individuals need to be placed in cells by themselves. Definitely.